So we'll get started whenever you're ready, Jim.
I'm ready. So I'm going to call this meeting to order, and I guess I don't need to because you just said we're recording, but I want to remind everybody that all of our meetings are now being recorded. So just act accordingly. People can go back and look at you. What?
That's true.
That is true. So let's start with a roll call. I think that's Sam's responsibility.
Commissioner Wordsworth?
Here.
Commissioner Scher?
Here.
Commissioner Resnick?
Here.
Commissioner Caption?
Here.
Commissioner Cant?
Here.
Vice Chair Cook?
Here.
And Chair McDonald.
Here.
Thank you
And
so
so
much.
next we will do the Pledge of Allegiance. Is there anybody have a flag near them, or no? I don't think so. But let's begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Do I have a motion to adopt the agenda that we all have before us? Anyone?
I'll move to adopt it.
Second?
I'll second.
Roll call?
Sorry, just 1 second.
Okay.
I cannot see you. I'm moving along. Okay. Commissioner Cant? We'll go in a different order.
I agree.
Yeah.
Okay.
Commissioner Wordsworth?
Yes.
Commissioner Resnick?
Yes.
Commissioner Caption?
Yes.
Commissioner Scher?
Yes.
Vice Chair Cook?
Yes.
And Chair McDonald.
Yes.
Thank you.
And next, I'd like to approve the minutes from the past meeting. Before we do that, does anybody have anything to amend or change before we approve these minutes? If not, do I have a motion to approve the minutes for our March 1st meeting?
Sure,
I'll make the motion to adopt the minutes from the March 1st meeting.
And a second?
Well, second.
Roll call?
Commissioner Cant?
Yes.
Commissioner Resnick?
Yes.
Commissioner Caption?
Yes.
Commissioner Scher?
Yes.
Vice Chair Cook?
Yes.
And Chair McDonald.
Yes.
And me.
And Marty.
I'm sorry, Commissioner
Yes.
Wordsworth. Yes, sorry, Marty.
That's okay.
So next we have an administrative item. And I don't think we have a, you want to explain it, Sam, or shall I go into it?
Either way.
Okay, I can go into it. You have within your packet 2 checklists, one for Art Walk artists and one for gallery artists that Kim and I drew up, and it's a piece that can be given out when we're working with a potential artist for either of those endeavors. So I just want to throw it out before we approve it, whether anybody has any comment about these checklists, or does anybody see anything that either shouldn't be there or is missing?
Jim,
Yeah.
my one comment is, I believe that when you and I were working on these,
Right.
we decided that at least the Art Walk one was more of an internal document,
Okay.
checklist to get things done, not something that would be handed out.
Okay.
I don't know how you feel about the other one, but
Well, the one for the gallery, I feel like we could, if we chose to, it could be passed out. Maybe it would need to have the you know, the Yountville Arts kind of letterhead or at least logo on it. But it's something that if we wanted to give a piece out, and Rhonda from the gallery standpoint might have a point of view on that.
You know, am I the only one who didn't get these? Because I don't see them on my agenda.
They were attached to the packet. I can share them if you'd like to go over them into
Well,
detail.
Or I can just,
I think
whatever.
they're toward the very end, Rhonda.
No, they're right after the minutes.
Page
Yeah, they're
11 and
Sure.
12.
Yeah, because they're really the first item on the agenda after the minutes were approved.
It's page 11 and 12.
Yeah, I don't have them. I've been through it, but I didn't download a separate, there you go.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the Art Walk one, we have, when I get an interested or potentially interested Art Walk artist, we have several different pieces of information that we can send them, like an invitation to participate, and one that we put together about explore Yountville if they don't know Yountville, and then the artist agreement, which calls out very specifically all the things that we do for them. So when Jim and I were talking about this, we decided that this was just an internal checklist to follow up for, okay, make sure the stipend gets mailed, make sure we order the plaque, make sure you write a press release, kind of for that purposes. So that's why we ended up needing two different purposes for these pieces.
Okay. And I pretty much drew up the gallery checklist, but I took it a little bit differently. I both had check items for what we will do for the artist, but also items that I expect or we expect from the artists themselves to provide, or choose or not, you know, provide or choose not to provide. So
I can share that in just 1 second.
okay. So
I don't have the second attachment. I only have the one.
All in the one attachment
It's all in the one.
towards the back. And Jim, it sounds like yours is more of a letter of understanding to the artists as opposed
Yeah.
to, yeah.
I mean, the paper process is maybe somewhat different between contracting for a piece, a sculpture for the Art Walk, which is basically on loan for 2 years and so forth, and the gallery, which is you know, the gallery artist is either going to be in the gallery for 1 month or as many as 3 months. It's a little different process. You know, there's an expectation if they sell that they're going to fill in with new pieces. So it's a little different flow. And here we go. It's on the screen now.
Okay.
So, you know, we're going to help them hang. You can see it talks about commission, which is the same with both Art Walk and gallery. You know, a banner, publicity, both in terms of regular press and social media. The consideration of a live stream event like we just had with Quinn, and that we will host an opening. It used to be always called an opening reception, and maybe we will get back to that, but at least we usually, at this point, we're still having opening evenings. And then in return, we expect them to provide images and bio information at the beginning for publicity, and at the time of the exhibit, the details of their pieces. Any rack cards or mailers, that's at their discretion, and that's their responsibility. We want them to publicize to their list, promotional list, and also fill in as pieces are sold. So it's a little bit different, but maybe some of that is pretty much the same with the Art Walk. You know, not the you know, filling in, coming and going, but in terms of publicity and so forth, you know, providing information about themselves for the art walk would probably be the same. So anyhow, I don't know if people have had a chance to look at these, but you know, again, they may be used, may not be used with specific artists, at least on the gallery side. So that's at least my intent, and that I get. And Kim has told you her intent with the art walk artists. So any comments by anyone? Okay.
And this can be kind of a living document. I just want to point out, this isn't something you have to approve tonight, or, you know,
Right.
it's just kind of a guiding document that helps all of us in the process, you know, including me, that, you know, okay, we've done all these things every time we get a new sculpture, or, you know, this is what we've agreed to offer artists. And then they can they can do it, or they cannot do it. And then this would change as we change what we do.
Exactly. So, okay. So if we don't need to approve it, I guess we can, no other comments, we can maybe move on. And I'm gonna, I'm gonna jump back to item 6, which I kind of forgot about, which was, is there any public comment for tonight's meeting?
Let's see. Yeah, we forgot about that. So no, there is no public comment.
Okay. So from that, we will move on to the Art Fund report.
Okay, so let's see here. So included in your packet was the very lengthy report that you always get. And then in the first page staff report, just kind of gave a breakdown, quick snapshot. So there's been no change to the Town of Yountville Community Foundation budget, but just as a reminder, you did approve using funds there for the mural touch up for those PG&E doors, but we're still waiting on them for scheduling of that. It may not occur in this fiscal year. They didn't want to move forward until obviously there's some COVID progress. So we'll keep in touch with the artists on that. The general fund. So there was just typical expenses related to paying Quinn, and then also revenue for the sales that he made. So that was all outlined in the report. The majority of action in the general fund will happen around Art Sip and Stroll. So we'll start to see some more expenses, and then the revenue come in for that as well. And then the public art program fee, the fund balance was currently at $75,033. So you'll note that we have made all of the transfers that were pending up until this date from the holding deposit account. And so that's the current fund balance in there. So, and like I said, all of the detail is included in the report, and I'm happy to answer any questions that you might have.
So any questions? No, I guess not. Okay. So we can move on. Thank you, Samantha.
Yeah, absolutely.
So our next report will come from the Art Walk Subcommittee, and that would be Kim.
That would be me. First, I want to, no, I'll do that separately. Never mind. This is a sculpture that's been presented to us by Sue Taves of Whidbey Island area. She was referred to us by Dale Rieger, our artist who does the glass pieces. So she's offered us this piece. It's about 5.5 feet tall on that little base. It is Carrara marble, I believe. Forgot my notes, but that's what it is. And we just thought it was kind of a different look. It was elegant and pretty, and we thought it would make a good piece to put in Vandeleur Park, where Carolyn Gamble's heart is right now. We thought that would be a pretty setting for it. So if you guys like it, don't like it, let us know. What do you think?
I'll jump in. I like it. I think it does that wording, without you saying it, I would have used the word elegant as well.
Mm.
So,
I think so.
I liked it too.
I like
I
it.
think
Seems
it'll look
very-
really pretty in that location.
Yeah. it seems
Yeah,
very
I do
feminine.
too. With all the greenery behind it.
Yeah.
Beautiful. It'll really set it up in a lovely way.
I will say that I have gotten more phone calls. I just had another one today from Carolyn's Heart, Kim. That's like the fourth one.
I think
That's
probably
so-
because they totally pruned back the plants and you can see it. So they need to obviously keep them pruned back a little bit.
Yeah.
But nobody's bought it, huh?
No, but it's interesting. And I have been getting more calls, quite a few more calls actually. But that one seems to be getting, I mean, I have it all memorized what to talk to people about because it always seems to be that sculpture. Who knows why? I don't know. And I don't think we really have any place else to move it at this point. So,
Not right now, because we have some pieces coming and going and Dale's pieces will come when he comes down and
yeah.
it might sit there. I'm not sure when Sue will bring this piece. Do you have a question, Cindy?
Yeah. Are they interested in purchasing it? And that's why they're calling you?
Yes.
And is it the I thought the prices were on the map. Aren't they on the map or?
Well, we don't, we haven't had really access to printed because nothing has been
Oh,
open to
right.
hand out.
Okay.
And it just seems to be a very difficult thing to get people who are standing in front of a sculpture looking at it to go online and pull it up on the website.
Right.
Kim did a great job of updating everything. I think it's all there,
Right.
but, and I don't mind because it's better access to someone who might buy if I
Yeah.
have an opportunity to talk to them.
Right. Right.
But the one today, she called about that piece and then she said, "Do you have any other art in town?" I know.
Oh,
I know.
30 pieces or so.
But yeah, I know. That's what I told her. And I couldn't get her to go online. It's just like, well, don't you have don't you have this and can't you do this? And I said, well, it's all there. But
The audio tour is right there and that has prices.
Yes.
That's on every plaque and it has prices.
yeah.
she wasn't in town.
Oh.
Or she was calling from after the fact, after
Apparently.
she'd seen it.
Yeah. But I just think it's interesting. I only point out because for the hearts that we've had on the art walk, Carolyn's always seems to get all the calls, which, I mean, we had other hearts that were really detailed and, in a lot of their painting. Anyway.
Rhonda, would it help at all if I sent you the QR code for the tour? And you could, no, because they're doing it on the phone with you, huh? Because you
They
could
are
text
on
them
the
the QR code and then they could look at the audio tour.
I think you've done a great job updating everything. I think, people are going to have to access it themselves. I don't know what else you could do. I don't know what else I could do. I can't go to her and, show her how to Google it. And she knew how to do it. She just, I don't know.
Is it something Rhonda could text? So it would just come in their text messages and they could click on it?
Yeah, what about a link, a text link to your audio tour, and then the Yountville site on it? Could that be done? I mean, I could certainly, I could email
A
it.
link to that brochure that we have. Brochure that,
The brochure
brochure.
hasn't been available because the visitor center hasn't been open.
Right.
Yeah, so I don't know, do we even have any, or I know it's out of date. I mean,
Yeah,
are there
it's-
any
it's
brochures?
The electronic one's been updated, but we have not ordered paper ones.
Okay, so Marty,
I
there
know, but
aren't
you
any.
wouldn't need a paper one for this purpose, just to.
Marty was
Somebody.
talking about just sending a link to the file.
Right.
I actually put some in the gallery because I was acting as the Chamber of Commerce, and I got tired of drawing the map of Yountville and the map of Napa Valley. So
Yeah.
Well, they should be
Maybe
there.
we need a big eye in front of the gallery for you, Cindy.
I do it all. Let me tell you, I got bathrooms.
Oh, and by the way, Noel, is there any word whatsoever of when the visitor center is going to be open? Or is it just,
Well, I thought it just opened.
Yeah,
I
it
believe
did.
opened
I-
last
oh,
Friday.
is it
It's
open now? I wasn't aware.
Not only, I believe only through Sunday, and then they're closed for the beginning of the week, at least for at this point.
Okay, because I walked by it today and it didn't look open.
No,
I think
it's
they're
not.
open
They'll probably-
Thursday through Sunday.
Thursday
for
through
the time
Sunday.
being.
So,
I mean,
so-
we can always reproduce, the map, but I don't think that's helpful in the discussion that we're having right now. We can talk about that. If we want to run some maps, we can obviously do that, but we might want to bring it back to the sculpture that we were needing to approve for, and then
Okay.
talk about.
Oh
our-
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so does anybody else have a comment on that? Otherwise, I'd like a motion to approve the sculpture, which is in this packet before me.
I have one
called
question.
Seedling. What?
I have one question. What happens to the heart that's there now?
It
It
goes
will
away.
just go back into storage until we have
Oh.
another empty spot.
Oh, okay, great.
It's ours.
Okay, so is that, again, are we ready to vote? Do I have a motion to approve Seedling?
I move we approve it.
Second,
I second.
roll call?
Commissioner Wordsworth,
Yes.
Commissioner Cant,
Yes.
Commissioner Resnick,
Yes.
Commissioner Caption,
Yes.
Commissioner McDonald,
Yes,
or sorry, Chair McDonald.
that's fine.
I'm going in
Yes.
screen order. Commissioner Share, thank you. That was a yes. Vice Chair Cook.
All right.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Okay,
Okay,
that's all I have. Thank you.
nothing more.
That's a
Okay,
lot.
yeah. Yeah, it's, okay. And that's probably another discussion for Rhonda and people. I mean, if it's a weekend, you can send them to get can they get anything at the community center about, at the visitor center about the art walk, or it's still?
So
Not
right
a paper.
now, yeah, right now we do
Online.
not have paper maps,
Okay.
paper maps. We can definitely put it in order in. I'll work on
Okay.
that when I get back, because with them resuming, I think it is prudent. I'll talk with Kim and just make sure we don't have any changes on the near horizon that we would want to wait or update it now for before we run it. But we can definitely run a small amount. Yeah, we can do that. And I think
Okay.
the call issue is just one that happens, and people, Rhonda's numbers on the plaque, and some people, that's all they want is to talk to somebody and have you hand it to them on a silver plate. But we have a ton of resources available at wyvillarts.com. It's pretty easy for people to navigate, but that's not going to be for everyone. So
Yeah.
maybe we produce a catalog like Sears at some point. No, I'm kidding.
Well, the website has it all. If she had been willing to go to the website,
Yeah.
she could have pulled up the individual artists
Mhm.
that have given you the websites, which is
Yeah.
part of what she was asking. So I
And we
didn't
can
mean
work
to.
on that. I mean, I was looking at it as I was loading the new map. I think that maybe something after Art Sip and Stroll we can work on is, kind of maybe changing up how our website pages look, and although having the map there is great, I think having each piece listed individually with the artist connection might be beneficial too. So that's something we can maybe have a group, a couple commissioners help with directing after Art Sip and Stroll, just kind of freshening all that up. So
Can I ask one final question of Rhonda? So if we would have had printed maps and she looked at it and was interested, but was already out of town, if you had a map that was printed, could have you mailed it to her? Would have that helped, or did she just want something in the moment?
No, I think she would have appreciated that. I think she was interested enough to call. I mean, that's the first thing, the first good sign.
Yeah,
They call. But again, she she has the resources. I told her a number of times to go to the website, which is pretty easy. Yountville Art Walk, if she didn't want to go through the town website. And she may call back.
Okay, you don't have a
Because-
contact for her.
I have it on my phone.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But am
we-
I missing something? What about myaudiotour.com? That has photos of each piece of art. It has a description about it. It has a map. It's just, that seems very easy also.
It sounds like this woman wasn't very tech savvy or didn't want to do it, Noel.
Okay.
Try to make it as easy as I can for them. But they have to do a little fishing around too. And they can't really do it when they're talking to me, or they don't do it when they're talking to me. So,
Okay.
that's all. I didn't mean to
That's okay.
Okay.
make it a big deal.
So let's move on to the gallery subcommittee. I'm going to say a few things, and maybe a couple of you will as well. We have Quinn saying it's been a fabulous run, and Cindy may want to either weigh in during this report or her marketing report to talk about her gallery experiences, but she's done a great job in the gallery and with the live stream. After April, at the end of April, we have Yountville Artist ×3, which opens on the 6th of May, and then we'll have a poetry component. And hopefully I and Marianne Lyon, the poets who have written some pieces, which will hang in the gallery with some of the art. Hopefully we can recite that at least outside with people gathered in masks. So that's our next exhibit. And then we have Guy Buffet associated with Art Sip and Stroll will be the next one. And we're pretty much, and we are booked up, although I think we have to still submit our fall, the details of our fall exhibit. We haven't done that yet, but we're pretty much booked up through the end of the year. I want to thank for the early part of next year, there was a referral from Cindy, and that's Sam Chapman, who we're looking at for next year. And I'm starting to work with and through Gabriela Fernandez, who was our live stream host. I'll have a meeting with her this week, a Zoom meeting, to discuss Hispanic artists in the Valley and maybe get some other ideas for doing our second Hispanic show in the fall of 2022. And I think that is about it. Do you want to add anything, Rhonda?
Well, we can cover it under our Sip and Stroll, Jim.
Okay. And it's probably has to do with Guy.
It does.
Yeah, so you can cover it under that. Does anybody have any, so that's kind of the short thing. Oh, and we have, well, that's literary, so I'll wait for that. Any questions about gallery at this point? So no, then we will move on. Literary, last month I said we didn't have anything, and we quickly put together a program this Sunday from 2 to 4 called Poem to Picture with Marianne Lyon, the county's new poet laureate. We're going to have people assemble who are interested, and we'll look at possibly cell phone picture a piece of Quinn Sain, and then go outside and write about it and possibly share it. So we may do a series of little poetry gatherings like this on a monthly or slightly different basis in the future. And I think that's about it for literary. If there are any questions, I think Yountville Out Loud may come back in a live form in the Community Center Plaza in September, but that's not firm yet.
Jim, is I have a question. Is
Yeah.
Quinn going to be there on Sunday?
I requested it a week or so ago. He said he had to work. I'm hoping he will be there to talk about his art, but I'm not certain right now. So, but I did reach out. So any questions about literary?
Jim, I think it's just great that you've got Marianne Lyons involved with us. She's getting a lot of press on her poet laureate status. And I think that what you two are doing together just adds all the more richness to the programs that we have in Yountville Arts. So thank you.
Okay, yeah, thank you. And everybody here got my little chapbook effort with my 3 poems that are going to be in the gallery with the 3 artists. So that's kind of a teaser for this coming exhibit. So, okay, why don't we move on to back to Cindy for marketing?
Okay, a few things. So we had the live stream, which I think was really successful due to a tremendous team effort by by my subcommittee with Noel and Robin being very willing guinea pigs and run throughs and help with technical issues. Kim also helped with as my emotional support person during the live stream and saw me run very fast at one point.
Is that when I couldn't hear Quinn speaking?
Right. Well, I mean, I won't go through the details of it, but we had some very, very serious problems with the technical, with the audio when we did the rehearsal. I mean, it was like horrible echoes and stuff. And so anyhow, so Kim came and we worked out where the laptop should be and how everybody should be listening to it and stuff. And then I got a little like brave and decided to cut Quinn's second monitor because when I was watching it, they were freezing and the video and the audio wasn't clear. So anyhow, that caused basically Quinn to lose all all audio input. So it was a little harried there, but anyhow, but I think it was overall very successful. We have now, and it's still getting a lot of views. So we have 275 views. And when people come into the gallery, I actually have it like queued up so I can show them like just a minute or so or even 30 seconds of the before and after and, talk about the technique and stuff and using that as basically marketing. So that's pretty cool. The gallery hour, that kind of
that you did, Cindy. It was a lot of work. I mean,
it
was fun. Making that happen. And I know, the art commission paid for Gabrielle to be there, but it really turned out fantastic. Anybody who wants to be in front of a camera.
I mean, I think with I thought StreamYard, which Sam found, was really easy to use once, and putting I would just like put all that stuff in and Robin's like comments and my sister's comments and the banner across the bottom that said giveaway is coming up and all
but
it was so cool.
Doing all that, producing it while it's happening. Go to this camera and go to that camera.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I'm curious, how are the sales, and did he have a pop because of that opening night?
I don't know what happened on his website because of that. I can tell you at the gallery, I think there's some locals. There are 2 locals that maybe 3 that are going to purchase, but they're probably going to do it through his website. And then there's another person that is his an Instagram fan that is also going to purchase. So we've had sales, but I think it kind of just like raises the boat for everything. Like he sold a very large piece at Heron House over the past month that's on metal, and so that was that was very nice, and and so a lot of people just kind of slipping into this. So I don't know,
I was just curious.
Yeah.
If they go to his website, Cindy, do we get the benefit of the commission on that, or?
Yes. Yeah. Don't we, Sam?
Yeah.
Yeah. And he knows that. The thing, this has kind of been bad timing because one of his coworkers is not available to work, so he's actually been filling in John's shifts and stuff. So he's actually very busy this month, which kind of sucks, but you know, that's okay. The gallery hours, the weekend gallery hours, I'm really enjoying it. You know, I basically just hang out there and point to the bathroom and you know. And we get a lot of traffic and and people really appreciate that. So, but I'm there from 12 to 4, except this upcoming Saturday, I was going to say, if anybody is interested. So, you know, people come in and I tell, you know, I welcome them, and I'm sort of, again, like the Chamber of Commerce, I have the maps available because, like Rhonda was saying, they'll come and they'll say, uh, is there any good wine around here?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's like,
Yeah.
you know, like, is there any art around here kind of thing? And I just go like, oh my God, you know, there's just so much, you know. Yeah, so 12 to 4 seems to be popular time. Sometime I've stayed late. I've helped people get into their cars that were locked, and you know, it's interesting to meet people from all over, and it's a lot of fun. I point them to the art walk as well, and I was going to tell Kim and Rhonda this last weekend there was a couple from Sacramento, and they said that they did the art walk because I don't know, they heard about it and they wanted to get out of the house and they wanted to be outside. They did the whole art walk, the whole audio tour, and then they came back this weekend to go to the gallery because, you know, so I love it.
Nice.
It was really,
Nice.
You know, hopefully we'll be setting some new patterns now that the doors are open on the weekend, and people will start coming to it, and it'll become a little bit word of mouth and
Right.
just seeing traffic go in there, whether it's for the restroom or whatever reason.
Right.
That I would imagine foot traffic will pick up really to come into the gallery and enjoy the art and
Right.
the conversation.
Yeah. I'm just full of it. And the guitar music too. I have
Oh, that's right. You bring your guitar, don't you?
I bring my guitar, yes. So far nobody has you know, filled my my open guitar case with, you know, you all could be the first. I'm going to tell you. But no, actually it's good practice for me too to be kind of playing in front of people and stuff. So anyhow, so what else do I have? Oh, Robin, you'll be interested in this. So one of the local people that came in that wants to purchase, she wanted vineyard photography. And I know that Quinn's been kind of fooling around with it. So, you know, with different images of the vineyards and mustard and all that kind of stuff. So, anyhow, so I put them in touch, and then another person came in and she wanted the same picture that I think already sold, and she was actually the Facebook or the Instagram fan, and she came out from Houston, and follows him, and then came to the gallery as a result of that. So it's kind of an interesting, you know, mix of folks. So that's about all I have. And so as far as, you know, what's coming up, you know, we're sort of the art plus. Oh, and Rhonda also helped. Thank you for helping me, you know, get a little smoother in my my delivery and my sales delivery and marital counseling. I didn't know marital counseling is actually part of it because and that happened again. That's happened again where, you know, he likes it and she doesn't like it, and you know, and I'm like,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
So
It's a no-win.
yeah. So, but no marriages have broken up because of this. So that's
That you know of.
that I know of. Yeah.
And no animals have been injured, right?
And no animals have been. No, we're very pet friendly. Yes.
Okay.
Anyway, so I don't know if so that's kind of where we are, and you know, our subcommittee will probably meet. I don't know that we're doing anything beyond, you know, to publicize or to do any separate, you know, sort of out of the box stuff for the Yountville ×3. I think I'd like to sort of start getting creative about the art sip and stroll and Guy Buffet over the next month. but
But we do, I think we really do need to support the local artists. And I know in terms of work with the Chamber of Commerce, it's a tad bit early. They usually send their stuff out the week before. And also they're down they're down one woman now since they've, Elizabeth has moved on. But as we get closer, I would like to see also if we can get a really nice email blast to that mailing list for Yountville ×3, because it's a great event. It's the poetry reading. It's unique. It's different. I think anything else we can get in terms of local publications or listings, it's important. And I know I sent information on to Napa Valley Life, and I sent artwork in hopes that that might show up in their upcoming Arts in April issue, but we don't have control over that other than to submit it. But definitely we need to talk about just some local promotion for everything.
so Jim, that kind of begs the question. So with the local Yountville ×3, are there any groups that we should reach out to that you can think of that they're involved in? You know, are they part of, you know?
I don't know that they're connected with any of the other art groups in the valley that you need to reach out to. It's not, I mean, Quinn is so connected to so many places through his photography. So
Yeah, but not
what?
just art groups, like, you know, it could be a church group or you know, or a service club membership or something,
Jim,
you know.
Nancy might be.
Yeah, why don't Rhonda and I will canvass the artists and see if we can get something for you in that regard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what about something with BookMine, maybe to just cross promote, because with the poetry readings and poetry, I think is having a resurgence now. Just in particular because of the young poet laureate that was at the inauguration. We're seeing more of that, and I think it would be a good time to jump on it. Just maybe they would like to promote it, local not only artists but authors, so poets.
Yeah,
maybe there's something
yeah,
there, or
No, go ahead.
their email list. Maybe they don't want to cross promote, but maybe we can blast out to their email list, because certainly I would imagine they would have a lot of people interested in the opening night event.
Yeah, let me talk to BookMine. I know that when we jointly promote like an author talk, that they're pushing, they're certainly pushing out. I'm not sure if they're always going to push out our events, but I can certainly talk to them. So, okay.
What's nice is we can give them artwork too, because the beautiful pieces that Danielle does for the website, that can go out just with written word too. It's kind of almost ready to go, and nobody really has to create something. All they have to do is push it out. And I think it's always in everybody's best interest to have new material to push out.
Yeah.
While they're promoting their self.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's really
so
good.
So I think, is that it for marketing?
That's all I have.
So we're moving into Art Sip and Stroll. So either Rhonda, Noel, and
we've got
Robin.
nothing.
What?
Yeah, right.
I said
And nothing's going on?
No.
So Sam, I have some notes on what's happening with the event and the promotions and that. But would you like to, I talked to Jim yesterday, I kind of caught him up on where we are. Do you want to discuss that tonight, or you just kind of, do you want to wait?
Yeah, no, I can kind of, so the good news is there is some more guidance that came out on Friday. The bad news is I have not had a chance to really digest that very much. But regardless of that, you know, Steve and I met last week and kind of firmed up some things. And, you know, what we really see that we're doing is outdoor retail. I mean, in the reality of things, is outdoor retail event. So we're kind of working on that. I haven't looked in my email to know if we have heard back from the Vintage Estates or not, but we have our plan B's and C's. So by the 19th, after our subcommittee is going to do a walk around to discuss layout, and we're going to finalize that. And so what we're really working on now is, and then some of it will be based on us dissecting this new gathering guidance. to figure out how we can adapt for the wine tasting portion of the event, which is such a large revenue generator. It really helps us to break even on the event. And so coming up with a plan on how we are going to achieve that with the guidance and the requirements for public health on with COVID restrictions. So we have juried in, I believe it's 46 artists at this point. We have about 8 more that are on a wait list. So if we are able to open it up anymore based on the availability of space, then we have them. Most of them said they were fine with that. And so, yeah, I think what our goal is on the 19th to really walk, the plans and set that layout. And it may go back to kind of looking like it was earlier. We're not sure yet if we have the use of the Vintage Estates. I had a productive meeting. I've sent several follow-up emails, but we have not gotten approval to do that yet. So at some point, I think we have to just move forward. And so that's what the 19th will really be, that point of moving forward and then discussing, because I've done all the math, and we, regardless if we went out, we have to spread out more. And it's not just about having 8 feet or 6 feet between the artists in the tents. It's really about spacing the tents out so that the people coming to the event have adequate social distancing or physical distancing while they're visiting it. So we can't put as many artists on one site as we have in the past. And the other concern is, for me, is parking. There's there would be some very simple, easy solutions if we just took out a parking lot, at the community center, but parking's already an issue. And it's not a model that we really want to promote. Robin, sorry, you have your hand up. Oh,
No.
yeah, for some reason I see, oh, that was my cursor, not your hand. Sorry. So I think we're just really on the cusp of making some really final firm decisions on what everything's going to look like. We have not billed the artists yet for their booth space, so that'll be the step right after that, I feel like. And then we'll have everyone locked in. But I feel that based on, we talked about a potential model for the wine tasting to have meet those requirements. And so if we do end up going down that road, it's going to require a lot more volunteers for that than we have had to have in the past, and staff. But the loss of that potential revenue is not it. The event would be a loss by a lot of money if we did not have that revenue coming in. So I know the wineries, I've been contacted by quite a few of our tasting rooms, and then wineries, I know they're interested in participating, whatever that may look like. But we have to just do it, the way that we're going to have to in order for it to be safe. So
I don't think that's such a downside, actually, because I think people now are used to being apart from each other. As a matter of fact, we had to go film an event. It was virtual and it was a minimal amount of people, but we had difficulty filming it because no one would get near another person. And we literally had to take lots of single shots because as everyone's programmed now not to get close together. For the most part. And I think people will really be pleased. And I think there's a way for us to market it too, lots of space, lots of fresh air, walk the whole town. I think everybody's been doing that for sheer lack of anything else to do. So I think based on last year's events, it actually could be a win-win for us.
Yeah, I think it's just it's going to be in the details, and I feel like regardless, it's just going to be for us is more manpower and more. We're going to need more people on the ground, and so the benefit too is our partnership with the chamber and their volunteer group. I think we'll be happy to help, and so I feel confident that we'll be pulling this all off. it's going to be a difficult 2 months. So I just putting that out there that, you know, if you have big projects or exciting new ideas, this is probably not the time, because the next 2 months is really planning this and pulling this off is really going to stretch my department and, you know, I think our capacity, because along with that, we're gearing up for everything we do in the summer. Since we moved this event into June, it's just going to be a lot of moving pieces. And like I said, I don't know if any of you have glanced at the new guidance on gatherings, but it's a lot to digest.
It is.
And there are a lot of moving pieces, and pieces I hope don't move, but then I have a lot of questions, you know, on, you know, well, where's the algorithm for if you have 60% of these people are vaccinated, but 40% aren't, do you still get to increase your capacity? Like there's some unanswered questions, and that's just me briefly looking at it. So I feel confident. I feel like we can make this all happen as long as everyone is flexible and just knows that it's not going to look like it did in 2019. It's just not. It's going to be different. It's going to have to be more spaced out. And people, you know, I feel like the visitors coming are going to be fine with that. The people or the residents and visitors coming to the event will be perfectly fine with the model. But it's, you know, really hoping and preaching to the artists, like, you know, we're doing our best with what we have. And the expectation is that, you know, we know this isn't optimal because they do all love being in one area. You know, we've heard that year after year after year, but that's not potentially going to be the option. So, but what, you know, and Steve had some really good ideas and really gave me a good pep talk because I was kind of on the brink there for a minute. So, but, you know, Steve said it's really important to, wherever we have the artists, is to try to match those areas as closely as possible. So whatever's offered at the community center should be offered at Veterans Park, should be offered at wherever we are, just so that, you know, the artists aren't feeling like there's, you know, well, there's no wine tasting at Veterans Park. That's why I didn't sell any art today. So trying to think of creative ways to make that happen if that ends up being our final model. So, and so on the kind of like, how do we get this all approved? So we've been discussing kind of coming up with just a memo in an outline of the event for public health to take a look at, you know, based on everything we're trying to gather that makes sense. But as you guys know, there's events, you know, in downtown Napa, the Makers Market, that happen once a month that has a lot of booths in one area, and it's considered outdoor retail. So, you know, I think we feel pretty confident that everything we're doing is going to be safe and will match up with all of the guidance. So
It's really hard because it might change again after, you know, after we gear up for where we are now. It might be better, which is what we want, might not be better. You know, it's just really, Sam.
Well, I think, Rhonda, to your point there, one of the things that we will be working on is trying to make plans so that we know where we're going, and yet where we can, you know, still have a degree of flexibility. But to Sam's point, we have to make certain decisions at a point and adapt. We're also, you know, not going to be asking for more permission than we need. To her point, the farmers market and some other things that I'm very comfortable with saying, this is a town reviewed event. Here's the guidance that we're following and the structures. But at the same time, we also know that we definitely want the community and the participants at large to feel good. The good news is now we are hearing more stuff coming back. So I'm actually encouraged by that, because I don't think we'll be necessarily the first event, you know, and we're hearing that some of the, you know, Blue Note is partnering with Krug and some things that we are going to be able to do. So part of it is, we're not asking the county for permission. I think we'll be putting an outline together and saying, here's what we reviewed. You know, our free entertainment is not a booked entertainment. People aren't going to a concert. There just happens to be background music playing at a, you know, like if we're going to be setting something up where the two wine tasting areas might be. So there's ways that I think, you know, it's how we present it and send it off. But I do think we're excited to do something. I've heard a lot of positive that we're moving forward, because I think, we're on that early cusp and a lot of people are just saying no yet. And I think we're saying, no, let's try to figure this out. But I will echo, you need to give us some latitude, because we don't have there's no game plan per se. So we're inventing this as we go, and we will need to bring out and encourage our friends and neighbors to come out and help us with, especially whatever we're going to be doing with the tasting is going to require more people to help monitor and meet those requirements. That part we definitely know, and we probably need some ambassadors monitoring the site, just so that others. And I'm also going to say this because I hear from our residents, some people love and hate for example, our message boards. But we hear people that say, we're so glad you're reminding people coming into town that we still want. So we got to be respectful of both sides of that issue in terms of how do we make sure that we're welcoming people. Residents want to make sure that we're not bringing stuff in, and yet many of us, and I think most of this group on this call, we're excited to get out and do something. We want to do something. We're in the business of doing things, not sitting back. So we're pretty excited about moving forward, and we'll just ask for a little understanding as we move through and put the resources into planning. And you've got a neat storyline with Guy Buffet joining the event as well. So we've got some good storyline to be able to get out.
Yeah. So on that note, you guys want to share all your exciting news on that front?
Well, thank you both for all the hard work and your support, because I think this is like a year that Noelle and I have been working on it, and we were always willing to go virtual if that's what we had to do. But having the town support us in making it live, despite the obstacles, which are really huge, I just want to say we really appreciate it, and it's going to be great for the town and the artists, and that's what we do. So yeah, I have some notes. I'll try to be brief. We have within the gallery show with Guy Buffet, which is from June 10th is his artist reception through, I think it's basically September 10th. Within that time frame, we have an event, which is the Pause in the Plaza. And then we have two promotions. One is Tour de Yountville, and the other one is Napa Valley Buffet. So within each one of those, Guy and Lydia are donating a piece of art to us we're calling it a drawing, but it's more or less a raffle. So we'll look to Sam and the town for some guidance on how we handle that. But we're getting 3 wonderful pieces of art from them. And it's, we want to create something around you that is positive for his philanthropy, so that it shows all that he's doing for us. And we thought, we would sell the tickets for $10 a piece. And Lydia's idea is to do one piece of art and auction it at the end of the promotion period, which is basically 1 month at a time. So we know that's what we're going to do, but honestly, Noelle and Lydia and I have not flushed it all out entirely. But it's part of the significance in doing the Pause in the Plaza, which is, I think we've explained it, but it's bring your dog. We'll have a doggy bag. Guy will take commissions if you want to have your dog, a portrait of your dog, and they're very whimsical. They're too fun. And they'll take pictures of your dog when you get there. And Steve, we expect you to have one of your dog. In fact, all of us, I think, pretty much. So it's something that will benefit us. Anything that Guy sells at any of these and during any of these promotions we get our standard 20% commission. So we're excited because I think it'll keep the momentum going throughout his gallery stay. Lydia is going to be in the gallery. We decided to avoid Saturdays because Sam is booking whenever she can and needs to do that. So Lydia will be there on Thursday, Fridays, and Sundays. That's the plan, except for these 3 promotions, which are on Saturdays. And so I don't know, that's pretty much it. Noelle, did I leave anything out?
Well, one of the things that that will be nice for art lovers of Guy is that he will be offering promotional pricing for his work when he's commissioning work for the pets. And we're also hoping that that will be a lovely local event that'll really draw out a lot of our residents and have them participating, and it should be a lot of fun. So we're really excited about that one. And the 2 others for Tour de Yountville, he's donating an exquisite piece that you probably wouldn't even know is Guy Buffet. It looks more like Leroy Neiman.
It does.
It's cyclists, and it's just a stunning piece. And for Napa Valley Buffet, there's another beautiful Napa Valley piece. So the art for each one is going to be very special, and we've got a lot to promote, which is nice, but particularly for Paws in the Plaza, which will be 1 week after the opening of the gallery, we really want to have all our locals bring their pets, and neighboring towns too. But we just would really like to see everybody out there having a good time. And we're going to have bowls with water and doggy bags with treats, and it should be a lot of fun. And Guy will be there doing a lot of art for people to watch. So it should be a very unique event. And that seems to be what we're doing a lot in the gallery this year, very different types of events every quarter, which is a lot of fun.
You know, we should tap into Carol Fink for the Paws in the Plaza, since she does the the blessing and
Sure.
yeah, I mean, I think that she would be very excited about that, and as a dog owner and professional, whatever, she's shown her dogs in the past and stuff. So, and does the blessing of the animals, which is very cool. So that would be fun.
Yeah.
That probably partly depends on her state right now. I know she's been very shut in because of some of her medical issues. So whether she wants to be out or not, she should at least be, asked whether she wants to come into it.
Yeah, great idea. But anyway, we're working a lot with Sam, obviously, on putting all this together, and we have promotional cards, and we're working on it all.
Have you thought about, and Sam knows more on this than I do, but with those 3 and the drawing raffle, have you thought about sending a postcard like to the local addresses? Because one thing you might want to do, especially on the pet commissions, if there's a kind of a range so that people know what they might be committing to, so that they aren't surprised when they come and realize it's not $20.
We do have a promotional card plan, Steve, that would include all of the 3 promotions.
Well, I'm just saying, we found that mailing it out as a postcard has also proven to be sometimes a very cost-effective way to getting a message out, because they won't necessarily come by and pull it because they didn't necessarily know they were going any place. So anyway, it's just something, and like I say, Sam she can tell you where we've had some good success there. I mean, that's how we sort of market cleanup day and the garage sale and a few other things that have, different overlapping audiences. But I just think those 3
so
might
it's in we did get the Paws on the Plaza in the rec guide, so that was exciting, and that'll be in this week. And then we're going to have that information in the June newsletter. I was gonna work with Eddie on that, so yeah, we'll get word out there.
And we've got Marketplace ad, which I just sent you, and Yountville Sun ad. And we'll find out if the Chronicle is going to play, with us or not.
Yeah, they just want a budget.
Pardon me?
They wanted, they just want a budget. So we have a new, Adam is gone, which is really sad, Kim. I know, it was a bummer. So now, they don't know if they're doing a Napa section. She told me it doesn't sound like it. And then she said, we should just do mostly digital. So what's our budget? So I'm not sure yet on that. So we can talk more about that.
What about the Youngvillian? Do we want to include the Jeff's publication in any promotion?
All of our marketing stuff goes out to him press release wise. So I'm sure, I see him push stuff out, but I don't think there's any paid advertisement that I know of. I don't know either.
No.
Anyway, we do have, Steve, we do have avenues where, we think we're going to get it out to the locals. Pretty much our advertising is based on Yountville, Napa Valley. Sam, a couple of questions for you. The Art Sip and Stroll banners that we have can we get those up? Can we get them scheduled to go up?
Yes, I don't have it in front of me, but I did send earlier this year a schedule for Stephen Public Works to look at. So I'll take a look at that when I get back and let you know what date those are slated to go up. But I believe it's about 30 days before the event.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then the only other question is just kind of between us, and that is, Michael can do the banners for Art Sip and Stroll for $35. Is that a good price?
Yeah, I mean, I pay probably 50, 55, the 8-foot ones, is that what you're talking about? The long
Yeah,
ones?
the 3x8, yeah.
I think I pay about $45 to $55. So either way.
Okay.
Yeah, we can chat about that.
Okay.
Can I ask a quick question? Maybe more of Sam, but at the very beginning, the subject of parking was kind of briefly mentioned. Are we looking at other parking in town, like either the dirt area below the bocce courts, or do you think that the Catholic Church would want to offer parking, and they get a number of cars in there on Sundays, offer parking maybe for a donation for one of their youth fund or something?
Yeah, so we're trying to, obviously thinking creatively, and using the South Washington and Veterans Park is definitely a given. I have it on my list to reach out to the Catholic Church. We're still gonna have the trolley running that day, and then I have still in the budget for shuttles if we deem that necessary. Some of that is gonna, be based on what our end layout ends up being. And then, people, what we found I also want to say that Laura from the museum reached out. She was very gracious, obviously said that she would work with us, however, but I think our hurdle there is definitely obviously going to be the Veterans Home. And I just don't think that they will be there yet. They actually have increased security at the gate. And I don't even think they would enter into the conversation of using that for parking at this point. So yeah, we're definitely looking at alternate sites to point people to. But as we know from the past, even when we told people that's where the event parking was, it was so underutilized. People will park wherever they want to, is what we're finding. And so what we can just do is the best of our ability is show people where we want them to go and hope that they utilize that. But at the most I believe we've ever had up there is like maybe 80 cars at any one time. So it's very underutilized, and but we always try to model the behaviors we want all of our events to model. And so, having to then allocate and find, okay, we have, signing the parking at South of Veterans Park to make it safe and get as many people in there as we can, and running shuttles and, that kind of thing. So
I think it kind of creates an exciting atmosphere, a nice atmosphere. of people getting into town. I know we don't want to disturb residents, and that's may happen, but it's kind of like being in Carmel when, I mean, you try to find a place to park on Ocean Avenue, but you can go out where into the residential areas and walk. I mean, it's not that far. It's go to, 2 or 3 blocks maybe.
Exactly. Yeah.
And with the shuttle, not shuttles, but the trolley running, and I think it could create a really kind of fun environment for people and be more convenient than the museums seem to be for people. They're going to be parking in town, they walk, or they
Yeah.
take a trolley.
Yeah.
I don't see us having a huge change in, honestly, in what we've seen in the past, but I think that's a great idea and suggestion, reaching out to the Catholic Church. I know the Seventh-day Adventist Estates also has a lot of parking, but they have Saturday service, unlike the Catholic Church. So that is not really an option either. So we'll do our best.
And Yountville School.
Yeah, school will be open.
Yeah.
Well, the best on the school, just don't tell them.
Yeah, we're just gonna leave it there, open. It's
If
open.
they're not working, if we ask, they will say no. So, but you just maybe, on the Seventh-day Adventist Church, we may be able to find out when their services are over. They may be willing to allow it to be used, and I'm just saying after 2 or after 1, don't know for sure. But that might be worth a small reach out to.
What about the grass field at the school, the ball field?
Yeah.
It's not ours.
Ah,
Rule number 1, we can't give away that which is not ours.
100%.
I have another question. I remember some town events, and I don't know that it was Art Sip and Stroll, but where there were signs on streets like Oak Circle and Mulberry saying don't park in residential areas. Was that Art Sip and Stroll or some other event that I remember?
So
Steve?
when, for example, like if Jessup Cellars closes their parking lot for a members only event, we do post no parking signs there along, I think it's Creek Street. But we do try to warn people, to not, inundate the neighborhoods, but
And
that's,
then
oh, sorry.
you're going back and remembering the old
is that
Taste of Yountville day.
Okay.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we don't normally do that for this type of an event, but when it's like a business has closed their own parking area for an event, they have the responsibility of parking those people somewhere, and it shouldn't be, to the detriment of the neighbors. So, so that's something we've agreed to on a couple occasions, but yeah. So yeah, I mean, I feel excited. I think on the 19th, we'll have a lot of, we'll be full steam ahead at that point. So, I think the artists that I'm talking to are excited. I know today was the deadline, I think, for the artists to submit their digital work so Danielle can continue plugging along at the website. I know she's been working on, as artists have been uploading to Dropbox, she's been really working hard on starting to build all those pages out. So most people are getting it. We tried to give very specific instructions so it wasn't as labor intensive. Because when you really think about it, if we have 50 artists and they each submit, 5 to 10 documents and or photos, that's like 400 to 500 files. And so if those are not titled correctly and have all the information up front, it's very difficult to navigate. So most of the artists are getting it. I haven't talked to Danielle about that today. So when I get back on Monday, I might find that it all fell apart, but it's in theory, our hope. So I know she's been working really hard on that. And then it's been great to have Michael, the graphic designer that Rhonda connected us with, to work on some of the things like the rat card and then the banners, and working on more of the specific stuff for Guy Buffet has been really a huge help to us. So and he's really reasonable, so that's been a great connection. So yeah, stay tuned.
Is that anybody else on Art Sip and Stroll, or shall we move on? Okay, any Sam, any staff informational reports that I don't know about, or
no?
anything you want to share?
The only thing is, I did have our budget meeting with Steve. So I proposed the budget, I put it all into the system, and then my first step is meeting with Steve and going over all that. And that was really smooth. He's obviously your number one cheerleader here. That next step will be moving forward to the town council for their review at our first budget hearing. But otherwise, I think you had all already turned in your annual filing forms. Hopefully, if not, Eddie will be now hunting you down.
Uh-oh.
Okay,
Uh-oh.
we'll be
I
following up.
believe
Eddie.
everybody got their scene.
Good job, everybody. So that's fantastic. So
I
other
didn't do
than,
mine.
oh, you didn't? He'll reach out to
Oh.
you.
I forgot.
Eddie will follow up.
Yeah, I'll follow
Okay.
up. Don't worry about it. I'll double check, but I thought almost everybody here, not saying everybody, but everybody here. I'll check. I'll double check everybody again.
Okay,
Okay.
thanks, Eddie.
Okay,
But yeah, I think that's all for me.
okay. And anybody else? Rhonda, anything you want to say or?
I know the museum is planning on reopening on some basis, but I really don't have firm information, so watch for it.
Okay,
That'll be great.
okay, that'll be good.
Yeah.
Okay, so unless somebody has anybody has anything else, I guess I'm going to adjourn this meeting. So thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Enjoy vacation, Sam.
Thank you. See you next week.
All right.
Bye.